The bank was able to step up to the plate in a number of areas on the float of QR National and in the process bring all the capability of the bank into the transaction. This was Australia's largest float in over 20 years and we performed multiple roles in the process. QR National privatisation has been a tremendous outcome for all parties concerned. You know, when they debuted, they were a $7 billion company and now today the market capitalisation is over $8 billion.
George, thanks for joining us on CEO Hub.
Well, thanks very much for having me.
Now, I'm just interested in exploring with you the effect of the financial crisis on what you might call the market for financial CEOs. What impact did it have then?
Well, eFinancial Careers is a financial services job board, and we have a network of sites that go around the world covering all the world's major financial centres. So from our side, we were able to see our business model is based on job advertising. And so we're able to see a significant drop in the number of jobs, and then we've been able to see the recovery of that as the GFC has come, as we recovered from the GFC. So
Has it recovered all the way back?
Not yet, no. So pre-GFC, kind of if you're looking at back to October, Lehman time, then we had about 12,500 jobs listed on the website globally. That bottomed out in May 2008 with 5,500 jobs roughly. And then since then we started to see it steadily crawl back. And we're now sitting about 10,500 jobs globally.
So now you're talking all jobs in finance there,
yeah, we're talking across, we focus on middle to senior level management jobs. So, but we're looking at front, middle and back office. And what we have seen is that the Asia Pacific region is actually back above its previous GFC level, whereas we're finding with the US, UK, Europe, Middle East that we're still not back at our pre-crisis levels. And I think that's symptomatic of the speed of recovery that we've seen out here in the region.
Yeah, well, so if someone was looking to become a CEO of a financial business, where would they best be located?
That's a very good question. I think at the moment a lot of multinational organisations are looking to centralise some of their decision making in regional centres of Hong Kong and Singapore. So I think if you're looking at opportunity for someone who's ambitious, then they're clearly places to be based at the moment.
And and within the financial sector, where is the greatest demand?
Demand's an interesting one because you can. There are certain niche roles that are in high demand because there's a very niche and specialist job to be done, but there's also some bulking up to be done. So you could look at private banking and wealth management, and certainly banks across the Asia Pacific region are looking to increase their resources there ahead of the forecast rise in private wealth. So banks are looking to hire a large number of people in those areas, but then specialists in, let's say, natural resources, they're also in demand, but there just aren't many people to choose from in that area. So what we're seeing is demand tends to be across the bank, front, middle and back.
And do Chinese people, as they become wealthier, do they look to Hong Kong for their advice and their investment management?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and we're certainly seeing, again, speaking to clients, they're certainly interested in hiring wealth managers into Hong Kong who've got access to a network in China. So certainly Hong Kong is proving to be a hub for that. But Singapore also is an area where a lot of wealth management activity is being based as an ASEAN centre. So both centres are doing well from that perspective.
Right. So someone looking to take advantage in their career, perhaps as a wealth manager of some sort or advisor, to take advantage of the Chinese phenomenon, would be best locating in Hong Kong or Singapore.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, obviously, if you're going to be there, then language skills are pretty important. So, it's not.
Do you mean you have to speak Mandarin?
Yeah, if you're going to be based in Hong Kong, tackling the China market, then you've got to have an understanding of language and culture. It's important. Yeah.
Do you have any sense or feel for the CEO market as specifically, as opposed to the broader financial market?
I don't have a direct touch on the CEO market, to be honest. I think there's certainly the CEOs of some of the regional organisations and banks and local banks are seeing the return of the financial markets after the crisis as a great opportunity to expand, and it's well documented those organisations that are trying to increase headcount and take advantage of the opportunity that's on offer. So I think the challenge that a lot of chief executives face is living up to the potential that Asia's got to offer and managing the growth through this exciting time.
It's an interesting way to put it, living up to the potential of Asia. What do you think the challenges specifically of that are for a CEO?
Well, I think
because you're in the same position yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, similarly, I think it's talent and talent management is important, and a business is only as good as the people that it hires and, importantly, retains. And I think holding on to staff is a big challenge for a number of organisations. They may have ambitions to grow headcount, and that's all very well attracting people to come and work for you, but holding on to the people through a process of change is difficult. These organisations are trying to expand and take advantage of the opportunity, and that can put huge stresses and strains on a large organisation or even a smaller organisation like our own. You have to maintain the culture and maintain services and systems, and make sure that everybody has the opportunity to fulfil the opportunity and the dream that you've sold them.
You've got a press release this week about the mobility of people in your sector around the world. Tell us a bit about what that survey discovered.
Yeah, sure. We're in a privileged position, I think, in that we're a global network of sites, and that gives us a unique insight into what's happening in the job market and gives us a real sort of a barometer as to how people are feeling, not only from a job number perspective. So year on year we've seen job numbers in Hong Kong, Singapore up 50%, more than 50%, Australia greater than 38% year on year. You compare that to the UK and the US, where you're looking at a sort of mid to late 20s percentage increase. So that gives you some indication of what's happening in the region. And financial services it's a globally mobile group of people, and they go to where the greatest opportunities are. So the recent survey we did was just asking people how open they are to switching countries. And the synopsis of that is that 88% of people based in Asia Pacific see overseas experience as a clear goal for their career progression.
It's interesting, isn't it, that I remember, during 2008, everyone said the finance industry is finished, it's all over, that there'd be empty towers through the CBDs of most capital cities, particularly London and New York City.
Yeah.
But it didn't kind of work out that way, did it?
No, and I think from an Asia or an APAC perspective, we or the region has clearly bounced back faster, and people see the opportunity. You only have to look at the growing corporate wealth, the opportunities around infrastructure growth, the growing businesses, and then that feed's going to trickle down into increased private wealth, and then it'll circle back into businesses as well. So there's clearly an opportunity for financial services to grow a long way in the region as both corporate and private become more sophisticated in the products and the demands from the financial services industry. So yeah, ultimately we will always need bankers. So
yes, that's right. But that's good for you. But you mentioned that 50 was the jobs in your side in the region up 50% year on year. Yeah, that sounds great, and you're comparing it in a sense favourably with America. Yep. Late 20s% growth. Yeah. But that's still pretty strong, isn't it?
Yeah, still
it's
strong.
Not, yes, it's half the growth of the region, but wow.
Yeah, I think, the financial services industry, as a result of GFC, they cut pretty deep and pretty hard, and got rid of a lot of extra headcount. And the strength of the recovery has taken many people by surprise, and there was definitely a large amount of hiring in 2010 as people scrambled to get back in the game.
Can you see a time when Hong Kong and Singapore supplant New York City and London as the financial centres of the world?
That's a good question that lots of people are asking right now. I can't see them supplanting, but I can see them reaching parity and becoming more important. But Shanghai also is on the up. The Chinese government and the Shanghai government have a stated goal of turning Shanghai into a global financial centre by 2020, and they're making doing a lot of work to make Shanghai more attractive to the financial services.
I suppose they need to make their currency much more tradable. Yeah. Perhaps not the world's reserve currency, but certainly.
Sure, they need to ease up there, but already they've started to ease up on other regulations, and structured products are starting to become available in the marketplace as well. So things are changing, but again, talent is an issue in Shanghai, and to be able to provide a wider range of services and products, then they need to have trained and qualified people across the industry to help them do that. So.
Well, it's been great talking to you. Thanks for joining us on CEO Hub, George.
Thanks very much, and very good to meet you.